enforcement and if they are targeting certain individuals or businesses. So you guys saw that clip. There was a lot of comments on that clip. So let's play it again as a reminder.
Usually it's too long time.
Right.
Shorter. What's the matter with you?
We've met and we'll be glad to meet again with you, Vinny, and see if we can go through it and get some clarification.
Well, and I appreciate that, and the reason why I'm here tonight is because we have met and nothing was done to resolve that. I sent you an email showing you all the places that had banners up a year and a half ago, which you instructed me that you sent to your code enforcement. All of those same businesses, all of them have banners up. The exception being me. Because anytime I put a banner up, within 5 days, I get violated. Now, is it right for me to have a banner up? I agree, if that's the code, I'm not allowed to have it up. There's not been one single time where I've had to go before a magistrate. I have complied every time I've been sent something. I have not done that. Just the other day, I was cited for putting a banner up on the north side of my building. Above my banner is a banner that's been there for a year and a half that says, "We buy used
That
guns."
pisses me off. The banner
There's
was
not
right
one
there
record
with
of a
the
citing whatsoever to value bond for that banner. Every time I do something though, I
I've
am
been there for a
targeted.
long time.
I am targeted, I am singled out,
Put a banner next to
and I am attacked by your code enforcement. And in fact, your code enforcement department now has weaponized my landlord against me. So instead of coming to me and saying, "Hey, we got an issue here," and sending me the letter, they send it to my landlord and threaten him that they're gonna fine him. And then he calls me and has me do that. So you guys are weaponizing my landlord against me when I'm a businessman, and all I'm doing is asking for equal treatment under the law, what you're allowing other people to do. And you're not doing anything about it, Bill. You haven't done anything about it in a year and a half. So talking to you about it again is fruitless. I want these folks to decide right now how that works.
I disagree with that. He doesn't like our answer, and I'll have Mr.
And that's the second time you said it to me, that every time that you say something that I don't like your answer,
Mr.
because
Barr.
your answer is that I get fined for doing something, or I get a code enforcement violation, but you're not violating anyone else. So of course I don't like that answer, Mr. Surgeon.
I'm not gonna argue with you.
It's not an argument, it's a statement to you, sir. It's not an argument. That's why I'm asking council to take up the issue right now and actually take care of this, because I've tried to speak with the mayor one-on-one, with Mr. Sturgeon one-on-one, and that's why I'm here tonight. And I waited a year and a half to do this.
Do we have any other comment?
All right, so pause that right now.
God, they're just angry. It makes me so angry when I watch that.
Yeah, it went on for a little bit longer than that, actually. I clipped it down to 2 minutes, but it went for about, I would say, 7 or 8.
No, it was actually like, I think 18 minutes.
Was it 18
Yeah, because I
altogether?
took a lot of
It
notes
was
on
very
that.
Because it
long.
wasn't just him, it was, oh no, it was for this one, it was just him.
Well, there was a lot of
Yeah.
banter back and forth. I took a lot of notes on that. I have a lot.
Yeah, and I know Chuck chimed in and a couple other,
Yeah.
do you feel that code enforcement is violating people? I know for,
Yes.
yeah?
Yes.
Yeah.
Hands down.
I've got a little experience.
Personal experience.
Yeah, we kinda-
And I'll be honest, the reason that Mr. Sturgeon isn't doing anything to help Mr. Barber is because he's 100% behind it. Code enforcement doesn't just act without somebody telling them to act. So that's
Yeah.
I just, like, the one that bothered me the most in that entire clip is when he says, "I have a banner that's right above or below another banner and they don't get fined, I do the same thing." Like, if you don't think you're targeted, if you wanted an exact minute of showing that you're being targeted, that clip right there was. Another banner's right there in the same building in the same spot and they're not getting targeted. That, you can make it more clear.
Well, to add to that, and this, I took a lot of notes on this.
Yeah.
Because I myself had an issue with my HOA vice president. Her family was not the nicest in our subdivision, and they were called out on it. And they decided that in order to get back at some of the citizens in my county, in my development, they were going to use code enforcement. And this was in 2012. And many of us called the mayor at the time, and we leave messages and to no avail. So I've had them weaponized against me as well. So I have my own personal opinions, but there's a few points. One of them was Vinny discusses a smoker, which is not actually utilizing a fire, and
It's not in this clip, but it's in
Right.
the full clip.
Yeah.
in the full clip. And he talks about it being on the side of the parking lot, and then people will say, he was saying, well, they told him he couldn't do it because it's distracting. You know what's funny about that is when you used to drive down there during election time, right where that smoker is was a big old sign for Mayor Blackwell.
Yeah.
So if that smoker's distracted, so is that sign.
Yeah.
You
Fred
can't
Hawkins
say-
was right in front of
you can't
it,
promote
Ricky
something
Booth was
there.
right behind it.
You can't say something being promoted.
So
there
if
is
something's
one
gonna
way
be
or the other.
distracting, let's go across the board. That's one thing I had to think.
Sounds like that was a waste of good space.
Yeah. So my other thoughts on that was the weaponizing, very valid point, great wording. One of the things that I personally find to be disgusting is how Bill Sturgeon spoke to him.
Yeah.
I agree.
I mean, not for nothing, but as a this
Oh.
is your constituency. And you may not like the fact that everybody's not coming to you with positive things to say,
No.
but you're not going to be, it's not all roses. There's tough times. And unfortunately, the way that they've treated people in the past.
No, me being one of them, talking in front of city council and being brushed aside and like a little, I don't know, go away with your idea, your thoughts. I couldn't stand the way they talk to the citizens. I can't even get over
And
it.
believe me, going forward, we're going to capture every time that happens, and we're going to put it up online so that people can see this,
See how they
because
talk
it
to people.
happens a lot.
Oh, and
It
the
really
faces.
does.
Well,
I
that's
like
the
that.
pattern everybody's noticing is
I-
they don't care about what the citizens have to say when they come to council.
Well,
That's,
I
and that's the
got an
problem.
idea. Best of clips of how them
that'd be
dismissive.
fantastic.
I think we need
like a
best
blooper
of.
reel.
Yeah.
Like a
We're
blooper
gonna,
reel.
we're gonna make best of
And
clips
that,
of
we
how
can
they
make
treat
that
the
happen.
citizens.
We can make that happen.
How they treat the citizens.
Really fast on, there's something else I'm going to speak on this situation, by the way.
Yeah.
So Councilman Cooper comes to the plate and he starts speaking on some things that he has noticed. And one of the things that he brings up is that Tractor Supply is a big business and they have some things, not only displayed in the parking lot, like when you go to Home Depot, it's not just against the wall. Like
Right.
they don't just have everything against the wall on the sidewalk. One of the things that Tractor Supply has done is they put these fencing and these bales of hay and all this other stuff in the middle of the parking lot where cars are accessible.
Yeah.
So here's the thing. So it gets referenced, and here comes, and I believe it was Dan Manzares, if I remember the clip correctly, comes in and he says, well, they're big box stores, and most times when they come with a plan to build there, they have this land allocated for outside storage and all this other cool stuff. And he references the fact that Vinny is located in a
shopping
plaza.
Yes.
But it's in the exact same shopping plaza as Tractor Supply.
So it's the same.
Right.
So here's my beef on this. Maybe you would know that as a city attorney if you lived here.
Right.
And you actually had a vested interest in the community. I'm just saying, you might want to do a little homework.
You know
before
that
you come to
Tractor
the plate.
Supply was actually in the
Right,
same
Yeah,
right.
just my observation. So sorry, I just
Yeah, I mean, they're kind of like right next to each other, so I don't know how
They're
Mr.
literally in the same
Manzares
plaza.
has no idea
Yeah.
about that,
The
but
same plaza. I mean,
what can
Well,
you say?
and those gates haven't been there forever.
No.
Tractor Supply's been there for 20 years.
Oh, at
so-
least.
And we're not picking on Tractor Supply at all.
Some of
It's
us
just
remember
one.
when that was the
Yeah.
original Walmart.
It's just
So-
what's good for, Tractor Supply should be good for
Right. It's
Vinnie
not, we're
Burger
not
and
picking
Jimmy
on one
Burgers.
place or the other at all. It's
Right.
just making a point it should be equal.
Right.
And, I was, like I told you guys earlier, I went to Geo Vape Depot today. And, Gina told me she had been cited for her lighting. So, I mean, she felt, and actually it went to her landlord, not to her.
That's what
And they did that to
Same
me
thing
in
that-
the campaign. They went to the owner of the public shopping center. They went to property owners, that
Do you know you
supported a candidate of their choice. And we followed code, and they attacked them. The city manager weaponized code enforcement against those property owners. And these are citizens,
And
elderly citizens at that.
Yeah, it's just wrong.
well,
Yeah.
when you do that, you also jeopardize that person being able to renew their lease. Because if you are
Absolutely.
I'm just telling you, if I'm renting to somebody and I have to keep getting all these
It's a
complaints,
nuisance.
I don't know if I want to rent to that person. They could be a good tenant. It's not his fault. It's just, you don't want a tenant that's going to bring you a bunch of problems.
Well,
It's
there's
not
already
that
been
he's
problems.
doing it. It's not that he's doing it. It's just, that they are weaponizing it, and it's going to make life rough for him to renew.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I think, and also one of the other things too is, Vinny has done things in the past for the community. I mean, he's been out there, he's given meals to the officers, he's done things for the community that other businessmen haven't. And as a small business owner, how can you do that to somebody? Like, he's trying to give jobs, he's trying to provide. I have a lot of respect for somebody who does that. He employs a lot of people. And he's putting quality food out. Personally, I like his food. I think he's great.
And not just St. Cloud,
Very good.
in Kissimmee when the two officers were shot.
Correct.
He stepped right up
Correct,
and provided
yeah.
food for.
When Officer Howard,
benefit.
exactly.
Yeah.
And then, the other thing I wanted to bring to the table about that situation is that I have to say, I actually felt like Lynette Matheny and Chuck Cooper were the only two who kind of, really wanted to make a difference on that, and I actually applaud that because I've criticized Lynette in the past when I didn't think she did.
But
very
you're gonna
well.
give her kudos for what it
Absolutely.
to do it.
Right,
Yeah.
absolutely. But yeah, the whole thing about not being fair is fair, and Vinny's right. When you drive up and down 192, it looks like it's a used car lot.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know?
And let's go to the Facebook comments real quick because there's one in there that one of the people that commented actually posted pictures of some banners that were outside of Walmart and
These are allowed, but these are not.
Yeah.
This one, they stalk my home and business. I
And
have
that's
them on
great.
camera doing constant slow drive-bys.
Oh my God.
This is a downtown business owner, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
You all have a valid point about the code. This person, can you pause here, Chris? This one, they said that the code is outdated and it needs to be overhauled.
Mm-hmm.
What do you guys think about that?
I mean, maybe to some degree, everything has to be done in moderation.
Right.
That's kind of my perspective.
Yeah.
So I think if you need some sort of advertisement, and this is one thing that Lynette Matheny brought up that I thought was pretty valid was during the pandemic, it was harder for the small businesses. So we allowed a little bit of leniency with advertisement because, a lot of people suffered.
Right.
In a situation like that, I could see maybe allowing a little bit of leeway.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. Do you agree?
Yeah, definitely, without a doubt. And there are some buildings on 192 that need to, look worse than any banners that they could put up.
Yeah.
So I mean, it just seems ridiculous
It just needs to be
to
across the
me.
board. It just needs to have whatever the code
Fair
is.
is fair.
It's got to be across the board, and it does not seem to
Absolutely.
be that way. And you'll show us the pictures
Absolutely.
of
Yeah.
it not being that way.
The next comment is.
Did you press play, Chris?
They are
It's there.
targeting the plaza at my place too. That's
Driving my landlord, another
Gina
one.
right there. That
Another
was her
one that's-
comment.
Wow.
Another one that's got a landlord that they're going to and stuff.
Yeah, and then there it is right there.
Oh, look. Is
There's
that-
a big banner outside the Walmart neighborhood
There's this for the
market.
COVID